As you probably guessed, it's Wednesday night. We're all undressed, naked, waiting for you. Yes, it's another Undressed podcast. Hello, I'm Jeremy Taylor, and welcome to Wednesday Night Undressed, the podcast that reaches into the wobbly places other podcasts dare adventure. Join our panel for a thrilling threnody of grumbustical debate, where the answers are always clear, simple, and straightforward, insofar as they can be determined and demonstrated to be without any epistemological problems. Our panel today includes a new guest. Miss Kay Traver is with us.
Well, hello.
Oh, very posh.
Thank you.
Well, hello.
Now I wish I was single and
Shut
tall.
up, John. Yes.
Yes, you do.
It's still doable, Josh. 50% of it.
The single or the tall?
Kathleen's
I
with
can
us.
work either one.
Josh is with us. I don't know whether he'll survive the night. Fernando's with us.
Hello.
Of course, Dr. Lewis is with us.
Hello there, children.
Ivo is actually with us at the beginning today.
Konnichiwa.
Thank you for konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Kawarimasu, Ivo-san.
Wakarimasu.
And of course, Neil Rasmus, lots of S's there, is running our board for us. I'm Jeremy Taylor, and we'll start off right with the new question, which seems to me to be a completely daft question. Boats and planes and cars and trains. If you were going to take a cross-country trip, what mode of travel would you choose and why? I mean, it seems simple. I'd be in the back of my Bentley, and isn't that how one gets across the country?
I do declare.
But let's
get out the Bentley.
When you only have to drive 50 miles across the country, then being in the back of the Bentley would be okay.
yeah.
True.
Because is it just that island just 50 miles across?
Do you know, I found out the other day that England is actually smaller than the state of Kansas.
What?
You just learned that, Englander?
What?
Okay.
Yeah. If you
That's
draw a line
weird.
around England, right, leaving out Wales and Scotland and the Isle of Wight, right, the land mass of England is smaller than the land mass of Kansas. Isn't that
Oh,
bizarre?
on a similar note of that, apparently Colorado, the state of Colorado, if you were to flatten it out from all of the acreage of it,
It'll be huge.
and it's actually bigger than Texas.
Yeah.
Don't mess with Texas.
Yes.
So-
Says the governor of
Land
Colorado.
surface.
Yes.
I bet he was
Excellent.
on some weed when he
So
said
we're,
that.
It was a very
smoking
interesting...
ladies and gentlemen
radio.
listening in your cars and wherever you are, in your planes and trains, we will actually be doing a whole show on the subject of Greenland and Puerto Rico and why
Rico.
Puerto
Rico.
Rico would actually like to go and be join the country of Denmark. But that's another story. Dr. Orlando, let's start with you.
I think for me it would almost have to be a car, and I would have to be driving. I like the independence that cars give you, and I like achieving the zen state that I hit when I'm driving, especially long distances.
Do you fall asleep?
Never.
Okay.
Absolutely never.
Just making sure.
You could if you had a Tesla.
Yeah, that's
Apparently,
true.
that's the way you're supposed to do
It's-
it.
it's-
from what
it's-
I've seen,
That's word
That's
on the
why
street.
you get a plane.
because of all the jerks around falling asleep in their Teslas. You have a point, Jeremy. How would you
Next.
go?
Yeah, how would you go, Mr. Taylor? Let's just assume that your Bentley driver's off for the month.
Oh, the Bentley's at the, oh, right. No.
Yeah, seriously, how would you go?
Bentley.
Train. I love the idea of going on a train, great train journeys. I'd like the idea of going across America on a train, going to Venice on the train, on the Simplon. Those ideas. I thought it would be wonderful to have a train that would, say, start in London and go all the way around Europe, including Russia and, through Germany and up through Scandinavia and so on. I love the idea of a train. What I don't like is having to deal with the people on the train.
So can I interject?
Okay, go ahead.
So I've got big train stuff. So on one of my last big birthdays, which we're going to pretend was 20 or 30 or something like that, I actually rented, you can do this. This is a thing. You can rent old train cars. And 22 of us went for my birthday, and I had a 1948 Pullman car, sleeper car, and a 1911 train car. And I swear I'm not Sheldon from whatchamacallit, but
Big Bang Theory.
thank you. But this just seemed like a really cool idea, and I'd been on one of these train cars before, and it was fabulous. There was nothing like hanging out on the back deck of the 1911 Pullman car, which is called the Federal, which President Taft and Wilson both were on, and you sit and you have your cocktails. You have to kind of hide them because it's. Apparently you're not supposed to have cocktails outside, but be out there, and then you're going through the most beautiful terrain, and it's just absolutely lovely. And it was like the coolest, weirdest, amazing experience. And the 21 people who came with me said is a vacation that they will never ever forget because it was fabulous. And the Cimarron River does actually go, this is the 1948 Pullman car, does go from Lawrence to the southwest on a regular basis. And so you could actually get on the Lawrence train station, which if people don't know, there is an actual Lawrence train station. And they get on there and you can go down to hang out in Arizona for a day or two and come on back. And it was fabulous. And I won't do a cruise anymore, or a big cruise, maybe a river cruise, but
I don't think you can get across the United States in a boat.
No. But I'm just saying, the original question was transportation in general.
Yeah. Just a second, I need to probably.
There's bull sharks, too.
Josh, stop being picky. We've got a new guest. Don't take advantage.
Don't be mean to me. I'm like a foot taller than you are.
We don't haze new guests
No,
like you
we
do
do
me?
not haze new guests.
I'm a foot taller than you.
It ended
She's
with
a
me.
foot taller than you, so she's going to slap
We
you
haven't
about.
finished with you, John.
Kathleen, what about you?
Oh, I think I'm with you. A train has every advantage.
She doesn't like the Bentley.
Even in a Bentley with a driver, you still are stuck in a small space, and if I'm not mistaken, it does not have a toilet. You still have to stop
Jeremy's
somewhere.
Bentley doesn't have a toilet?
I know, it's disgusting.
What, are you bargain basement or
It
something?
has a lavatory.
Oh, okay.
So train has everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've gone on a very long train trip, I'll say 2 nights and 3 days, non-stop. And I gotta tell you, Jeremy said that he would avoid the people, but really the only thing that saved my sanity were the people on the train, because
And the bar?
Well, yeah, but also just making new friends, playing cards, playing games, talking, telling each other stories, because there is a monotony associated with train. And even though you assume that the landscapes are changing, usually the way the railroad is laid is through parts that are relatively boring. You know, they're easily accessible, easy to, to build the train infrastructure. So, and at some point, the landscape becomes repetitive, especially the parts where we were going through, because we went through the entire Romania, Ukraine, and so on, all the way to Moscow, and it's pretty much farmland. There's not many mountains, so. Thank God for the people, and there's a lot of flirting going on the train. I don't know why it's such an aphrodisiac. The train itself.
The rhythm of the train.
Yeah, probably
don't
the
you
rhythm.
start.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear.
You're encouraging him.
Come on.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yeah. That's it's like a dictation for your lovemaking.
Just gets you in that
Yeah.
rhythm,
A
that
very good friend of mine didn't think
rhythm.
he'd be able to sleep on the train, and he slept
the best.
so well. You sleep
It
so
puts
well
you
on
out.
trains.
Yeah.
Which
it's
is it? Is it an aphrodisiac or does it put you to sleep?
both?
Okay.
So I have a friend, or actually it's Jamie's friend from high school. His name is Howard. If the world comes to an end and this is the last thing that he's able to listen to, he will probably hear this podcast. And so if you're listening, Howard, I am telling the story of your regular train trip. So he takes a journey on a train from Lawrence all the way to the West Coast, and he goes on a sleeper car in a train called the Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he loves this experience. He absolutely loves it. But I'm gonna go with Lewis. For me, it's the car. I love our infrastructure. What Eisenhower did was amazing. I love also taking the smaller roads, going through, because even the
Route 66.
the auxiliary roads, the Route 66 and others are very well maintained and developed. You can go through Nevada. There's actually a road 666. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's really a good one.
Didn't AC/DC write a song about that road?
Yeah. And you can go and visit incredible places, and the car provides you more mobility.
What is fascinating about this is that we all have, I imagine, in case new to the team, but we all have favorite photograph pictures of things, of just our lives of the last 30, 40 years. We have a favorite photograph or favorite photographs, and I have maybe 20 or 30. One of my favorite photographs with my dear friend Ivo is not of Ivo. It is of his son, Emil. They are on a train going through Switzerland, and the picture you can see
It's
is
unbelievable.
The window, right, is a framed Swiss chocolate box.
It's incredible.
That's what it looks like. It looks little Swiss
Stunning.
houses, mountains, snow, just the whole works.
Yeah.
Emil, sound asleep on the table.
Completely oblivious to the stunning landscapes that are changing in front of our eyes. Like, you're in a fairy tale. This is a train, Jeremy, that goes from Lucerne to like Bern, and goes through these incredible canyons. It's the most scenic train ride in Switzerland. You pay a lot of money, and those are observation cars, so they're glass, and there's waterfalls and just stunning glaciers, mountains, villages, cows, Swiss farmers.
Hang on a minute, mountains, villages, and cows.
Yeah, and you are just weak in the knees, just looking
Is there any
everything,
chocolate?
and I'm looking out and taking pictures, and there's my son completely asleep.
Better asleep than on his phone.
True, very true. But yeah, you're very, very right. This is very funny. That being said, we rented a 40-foot RV a few years back. That might have been the best mode of transportation in this country, because there's incredible RV parks scattered every 20 miles around this amazing country. And some of them are better than hotels. It's just incredible conditions to have fun, to do barbecue, to play sports, even to walk your dog. We had our dog, we have both kids, my wife, and 3 bicycles in the back, and we went through 5 national parks, went to the Grand Canyon, parked the RV on the edge of the southern rim, and stayed there. And when we woke up, we had our coffee looking at that stunning one of the most incredible views in this solar system. And it was absolutely breathtaking. And then we drove all the way to the Pacific Ocean and slept on Pacific Beach in California by San Diego. And, wherever you go, there's your home. Went to the Hoover Dam, went to Petrified Forest, went to Crater in Arizona. And,
How can a forest be scared?
Very funny. So,
Grief, Jeremy.
yeah, it's better than your Bentley. I know it's Bentley. You don't park it, you position it. But
He's been in the Venta. Now we need to move across to. Are you going to be well behaved, Josh?
No.
Okay, fine. So, all right. Well, let's go to Josh. See whether or not he's got
truck
anything useful to
across
say.
the country, sleeping in the back or in a tent is the way to go.
Are you
done
paying
it.
for the gasoline of the truck?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's check.
but we
Dude, that's going to cost you more than an airplane.
right, but we didn't ask
Oh, no, I
what the
agree.
cheapest way was, did we?
No, we
didn't.
didn't.
Go.
We didn't.
Hey,
My
which
bad.
which
My
which
bad.
coal can you stick up your ass and get a diamond because you're so tight, right? We didn't ask that route. We asked what our regular mode was that we'd want to do.
I hear you.
So, like camping out, sleeping in the back of it, or looking at the stars. I've done that a million times. It's
Really?
amazing. So,
That's something of an exaggeration, isn't it?
not really a million, a few.
A few.
Have you
yeah.
have you done it with your kids?
God, no.
Did you do it with your first wife?
Yes. every night.
What about a motorcycle, guys?
I was going to ask that. Yeah, that's not on the list.
I have a Vespa, and a motorcycle license, but I think the Vespa is better than the motorcycle because.
Fernando. You know,
harder
we'll
to
come
see.
to Fernando right at the end. I'm interested to know what he thinks. You know, having come up from Brazil, did you fly? Or how did you get here?
Yes, and I hate the commercial flights. I mean, who likes commercial flights? Is
Ooh,
anyone?
me. No.
Oh, okay.
Nobody.
Luckily, once I got the bump to first class, I think it was worse because I know how good it is to be in first class.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I regret that I got that offer
To go back.
and can't pay anymore. So but I would love to. I would love to experience several days in a boat. I never spent it was just short trips, and a train as well. I had a few trips, but never
Boat with wheels?
What?
A boat with wheels?
Amphibian,
No. Well, that would be kind of fun too.
the ducks, so you can
Still
slip over
confused.
and die. There's an incredible. Oh my God! I just read the New York Times last year. Wonderful article about a guy, journalist, who decided to board a boat in Lake Michigan and go through the St. Lawrence waterway all the way to the Atlantic Ocean on a commercial boat. They're offering on a commercial boat a small room if you want to experience that, if you want to have that experience. And they would stop in small towns along the way. And he said it was absolutely incredible. The food was not like a cruise ship food, but it was great. He said it was a fantastic experience and it was extremely picturesque. Apparently, this part of Canada is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful in the fall. It's really great.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting
Nobody
thing.
said bus.
Oh, yeah. I've gone with Greyhound from Boston to Los Angeles. Oh. It was an interesting experience.
I bet it was.
In 1991.
Oh, that would have been a lot of fun at that time.
I don't know.
Right.
It was
yeah,
rough.
characters back then.
It was rough. I mean, the smell, I still haven't lost the smell. It's still with me.
We still smell you from there.
In Denver,
That's
some
what
lady
that is.
some lady boarded the bus in Denver with a baby in a little carriage thing, and the baby was crying, and she sat on the seat, not next to me but across the aisle, and the baby was crying. She put it under the seat, and the baby kept crying. She said it was it.
There's anything wrong. My mother used to
This is
say
not going
when
in a
our
good
kids were
direction.
little, when our kids were little, she would say, "Look, dear, if it gets too much, put it in the pram outside on the lawn, dear, and as long as you can hear it, it's fine."
Which explains a lot.
Which
about
explains a lot, Dr.
Yeah.
Fernando.
Ivo, do you think your trip was bad? You need to go from Bolivia to Peru by bus, and instead of a baby, it was a goat.
Oh, but
And
the new bus system for Peru to Bolivia is very good. A friend of mine runs it, actually. It's called Peru Hop.
nowadays, yeah.
Oh God, we're now going to
I was in
Peru,
Costa Rica
Brazil.
and I was next to a
thing.
cage of chickens, so I'd take a goat anytime.
Oh, yeah.
When Robert Persick
And
wrote,
you can do
bet
yoga,
you'll take
yoga
a
with the
goat.
or faint.
He didn't hear that, but that's a good comment. Yeah, yes, I think that's very true. I think he probably would.
when Robert Persick wrote Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, and he wrote about this trip on a motorcycle with his son, he romanticized it so much. I've always wanted to make that trip across the Southwest on a motorcycle, but
Moving on, next question that
knows?
came in.
Let's do it.
We're going motorcycles and goats. It's just, don't know where that's going.
Second time.
We are
Second time a
recording
week.
this show on Wednesday, September the 11th, 2019. My question, the questioner asks, where were you on 9/11? I was
2001.
Yeah, 2001. I was in the UK. I was actually on the phone to a colleague. I was in London, or near London, and I was on the phone talking to a colleague, believe it or not, in the Northern Ireland Parliament. And he started shouting at me, "Turn CNN on." And so I did, and there was an aeroplane. It must have been the second aeroplane heading towards the tower. I shouted at Kathleen and said, quick, come in here. You need to watch CNN. To which my wife's immortal phrase, "Why?"
He just wants me to jump to it and never ask why. It doesn't work that way.
So that's where I was. Ivo, where were you?
I dropped my daughter at Deerfield Elementary, and I dropped my son at his grandparents for the day. I went to work. Jamie was in Nashville, Tennessee for work. And at work, they said, you gotta watch this. It was unfolding on TV. Everybody stopped working. We watched it on TV. Jamie couldn't come home for like 3 or 4 days because they shut down all the air traffic. So she was stuck. But yeah, it was pretty shocking. I didn't know. Obviously, we can all talk about our emotions at the time, but it was pretty devastating. Pretty devastating. We all remember that time. We all remember where we were. It's interesting.
I remember
Those seminal
Kathleen
moments.
going, because I'm very English, and we actually, at that point, I had not been to America to visit family and stuff like that. And I remember Kathleen sitting on the couch, not wailing, but with tears coming down down her cheeks, and going, "My poor America." I remember her saying that. And the interesting thing about the whole thing was when we did come to the States later on that Christmas, and I knew we were going to talk about it, and I was talking to my late mother about it, and I said, "What do you think I should say?" And she said, "Tell them now they know how we felt, dear."
Well, that's kind of a snotty thing to say. I have a friend who worked at World Trade Center, and my first concern was about her. She worked for a Japanese company that were like on the 7th or 8th floor, so I called her, make sure she's okay, but she said I was late for work anyway, and even if I was there, we were going to make it out quickly because they were relatively low in the building. But then I remember I went to get my daughter from school. They closed the school. I went and got Emil, my son, and we went home. Jamie told me to buy gas. I waited for 2 hours at the quick shop here, and they had gouged the price of gas to $5. Back then it was $1 a gallon. It was like really, really shameless. So I filled up the tank though, and then Jamie told me to go to the store and buy some non-perishable food because we didn't know what was happening. We assumed that maybe World War III was starting. Nobody knew what the heck was happening. Planes were dropping from the sky, buildings were exploding, and so I went to the store. All this was empty. Everything was gone. Jamie told me to buy powdered milk. So I got this giant box of powdered milk, which we still have in the pantry to this
Waiting for World War III.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Kay, where were you?
The morning of, I was heading into work at Callahan Creek, where I was an art director, and I was astounded by the radio person who seemed so unusual. Like she just really didn't know what was going on. And I was really upset about it looking back on it. But the more important thing was, I did get a hold of my father in South America and woke him up and said, "This is happening." And he said lots of expletives and was like, "Okay." And then I had to teach a child's Taekwondo class. I was a black belt at the time, and I guess I still am. And
What did you get after being a black belt?
what?
Can you still kick high?
Not anymore. I can barely bend, but hey.
You got away with that
anyway.
one, didn't you, Josh?
So then you're
sorry.
not.
You did. You
So
got away
anyway,
with that.
But I remember having the kids sit down, and the instructors of the school were a little upset that I had them sit down. But I was like, hey, kids, your parents are going to be a little. Did you hear about something happening today? And they all raised their hands and told me what they'd heard. And I was like, you guys have to give your parents a little bit of leeway tonight, if you would, and just try to be a little bit nicer tonight, because everybody's a little on edge, and your parents are really going to want to watch the news. And that's what I remember more than anything, was sitting in front of these 12 kids, and I don't have kids. And it's
You
weird.
hate kids, don't you?
I don't hate them. I don't hate kids.
Especially
I
with
like
lemon.
only my friends' kids. Yes, but yes, especially with lemon. But it was a very unusual thing for me to be the adult and have to go through that day with that moment and that afternoon, and just try to remember all the accolades of Taekwondo and being strong. So,
Josh.
So I had a routine. I was in college at the time, finishing up. I was on the 10-year plan for my bachelor's degree.
10-year plan.
10-year plan.
Yeah.
So I was in college at the time, and I had this routine every morning
42,
where
yeah.
I would turn on the TV when I get up, and I'd watch the Today Show and make breakfast and get ready, and then head to class. And the Today Show was on, and I remember Matt Lauer. And I think it was Ann Curry at the time. We're like, we just got word something has hit we think a plane has hit the World Trade Center.
And did you watch?
And so I watched the whole thing happen.
So you saw 54-year-old Donald Trump pulling victims from the rubble.
Yes, I did. And I thought somebody's hair was on fire, but I just realized
I might
it
have
was
to walk
just his
away
hair.
right now.
Right? So I watched that unfold. I was a witness to that. Yes.
Damn it, Evo, you've broken the new guest.
So there I was. Thanks.
Dr. Orlando.
I was working at KU. I was working in the foreign language lab in Wisco Hall. And I designed, first of all, I should say that in the language lab at the Wisco Hall at the time, there was always a television on with the news. And so having the news on wasn't a big deal. It was just kind of something that was there as a matter of course. And that shock, like the shock of the tower getting hit, just almost doesn't resonate as much as the second plane. Like as you're sitting there watching it, and like
Indeed.
you get that second plane coming in. The interesting thing was that I was building web pages for the less commonly taught languages at KU, and so I had this really, really intense relationship with a bunch of the people in the African and African American studies class, a large portion of which were Muslim. And like for myself personally, like I remember the shock and the worry about what this meant, sort of, for the country as a whole, for its future and everything. And then I went over to the African Studies department, and everybody there was in tears, like absolutely in tears. And it was because they understood what it meant, not just for our country, but for them. And they were a bunch of people that really, like, for my time that I spent with them prior to this, like, had expressed nothing but love for the country, love for people, wanting to share their culture, all of these positive things. And then have this thing happen where they can see like any effort that they had made in that direction just like completely crumbled by the act of these like assholes. It was a heady time, and so I think about those.
It destroyed so much more than just buildings and lives.
Yeah.
Although our way of living was destroyed by a handful of people, and we wasted a golden opportunity to unite the world on our behalf. The entire world was on our side. Countries that usually hate us were on our side, and unfortunately we had a horrific administration, which we have forgotten how bad they were because of the current administration, but they wasted a golden opportunity attacking a country that had nothing to do with it, starting wars to enrich the military-industrial complex, and just squandering an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, but do you know how much money Halliburton makes now?
Yeah, I know.
Dr. Fernando, where were you?
I was at work. I wasn't living here yet. I was working in Brazil, and I think at the time I was dating with my ex. And I remember just was very shocking. Like I got the news. I think was not SMS. I didn't even have cell phone at the time. It was someone like just sending me a message, like whatever that, not Skype at the time, or something else. And I started
ICQ
looking
or something like that.
and working. Yeah, no, it was a little more fancy. You could add the pictures, not the BB bulletin board, but
Gotcha.
it was shocking, but. And and the news was covering. I mean, the news in Brazil, they love to cover, U.S. disasters, a little bit of Europe. That's how they rule, and some scandals in the local. But it was very, but not on this level. I just feel later how I mean, I knew it was tragic. I feel after seeing, kids seeing school and all how tragic. I mean, I knew how tragic, but like it's hard to feel when you're not.
Did you
there.
notice? We noticed because we lived about 17 miles south of London. Call it 20-ish miles from
Right.
Heathrow and less from Gatwick. That how quiet it became fairly quickly once the plane stopped flying.
Yeah.
And the only other time that I experienced that was when Princess Di's funeral happened.
Yep.
And the country just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm old enough, believe it or not, to remember when Churchill's funeral happened, and the same thing happened. The country just stopped.
Yeah.
And it was just, and what my mother was saying, I don't think she was wanting to be catty, although she knew how to do that. She was an expert on that. Her point was that we were bombed every night in London, night after night after night. We would lose 1,500 people a night, and what she was saying is, now you guys know what it's actually like on your home territory. That's what she was talking about. I mean, actually, on the West Coast, they did get shelled occasionally, by the Japanese. But the reality is that America had never been hit before. Hawaii doesn't count. This was actually here in America that it happened.
To all the Hawaiians that may be listening, I apologize for Jeremy saying you guys don't count.
Thank you.
Ditto
It's
on
the same
that
as,
one.
the same as the folk in Puerto
Hakuna
Rico.
Matata.
We've been attacked before, and
Or something.
yeah, we've been attacked before by Britain, like Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah.
That motherfucking ass. Can't stand that asshole. What about the Spice Girls?
Don't forget
You're just
Mr.
jealous.
Dyson.
Oh
I
my
sing-
God, Dyson! Don't even mention Dyson.
I sing in lots of cabarets, so don't dice the Andrew.
So it's just interesting. Ask yourself
Never
where
forget.
you were, and of
Never
course,
forget. Hashtag never forget.
And the people who ran in, not the people who say they ran in, but the people who actually did, most of which have died of horrible cancers. How does the panel feel about horror movies? What flavour of horror movie is a hard no thank you? Can be a particular movie or genre. Let's start with Josh.
I love them. I think
You
they're
love them
fantastic.
unqualifiedly.
I love them. I am getting a little old, and so like some of the slasher, like
Torture porn,
something like that. Sometimes I'm like a little
Hostel.
a little bit like that. But I just saw the second It, and I was scared.
You were?
Yeah.
I saw it too.
I thought you just said earlier on, in fact we have a recording of it, I could ask the engineer to replay it, you said you were not scared of anything.
Well, anything real?
Oh, after you've been up against a grizzly bear.
Yes.
You're right.
Shot a man in Reno just to watch him die.
Just to watch him die.
I need to put
Shot
you
a
up
man in
next-
England
I need to put.
just to watch him die.
Yeah.
You need to meet my cat.
Oh,
She's kind of crazy.
yeah.
Just
I
saying.
thought I just met your cat.
No,
No, that was
not
a-
that one.
That's a
Not that
different
one.
cat.
That's a
no,
different
the
cat.
other one's shady as H.
These double and
How very genteel of
I'm
you.
so confused because I met a cat earlier
I didn't
and
know if I could say.
pet that cat.
You can say whatever you like,
Very
except lots of
egotistical.
people listen to this. So
You can-
you don't want someone coming along and saying, "Oh, that Kay Traver."
She
they
said
know.
she
They
said
know.
hell. She said hell.
you should be.
She
know
said
me.
the HE double hockey
She
stick.
said the HE double honk sticks. We can't listen to that show no more.
Yeah, you should be very respectful to all of our listeners.
Sorry, listener, for
But
saying
no,
hell.
we might have 3 more now that I'm here.
Uh-oh.
Send it to him, I promise.
Oh, trouble. Now
What are we
really
going to
gotta
talk
be
about your
careful.
dad and his new dog?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. No, but we're talking about horror stories. That's not one.
That's what
Horror
it is.
movies, I am selective with horror movies. I don't like the torture porn. I've grown out of it. I
Torture
can't-
porn?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
with
torture
you, as
porn,
if
but
I would even start watching that. That would take maybe 20
this is
seconds. maybe-
this is what it's called officially. Movies like Saw that rely on entirely on gore
And
and
torture,
dismemberment and disgusting. Like Hostel, there was, these movies have very little carry very little quality for me. I like masterfully made horror movies. There's science in horror movies that involves. Your the functions of your brain. There's neuroscience involved in making
functions in your brain?
a great. No, barely. But for example, the movie Alien. The first one, Ridley Scott's movie. So
Second one's better.
there's
We're going to get into some discussion here.
or let's say The Exorcist, or there's
Okay, so you're saying Alien and
But that's like a
Exorcist
sci-fi.
are in the same genre. You're saying that. You tell me you're saying that.
in the the same
Same
scary
genre?
realm.
Horror movie? You're saying it's a horror movie.
They are.
is.
They
It
are.
is.
No, it's
They activate the same regions in your
Sci-fi.
brain.
It's a sci-fi movie. Sorry.
Well,
Sci-fi.
What's
So-
a horror or sci-fi?
There's no genre of horror.
I just
sci-fi.
made it up.
Well, that's why
There is
that doesn't
now.
exist.
these are movies that are designed to scare you, or carefully designed to scare you, and
Scare
they
is different
use.
than horror, though. Scare is different than horror.
There's definitely an element of
No.
horror in Alien.
Are you talking about
so
suspense?
a good horror movie to me, and really a good story. In a good story, forget about horror. A good story is one that is crafted so either the character knows something that the viewer doesn't know, or the viewer knows something that the character doesn't know. So there's a natural, organic suspense built into these kind of movies that requires artistry and craftsmanship, and so. To me, Saw and Hostel and those movies are clearly going for the gore, and there's no really art in it or craftsmanship. So, well, there's craftsmanship, but their movies now. There are certain techniques that are used. For example, infrasound. You know what it is. It's really low frequency, like below 20 hertz sound that most of the time you can't even hear it. You feel it with your bones. It's the rumbling. In Alien, the first like 30-40 minutes, there's this industrial rumbling in the background. You can barely detect it, but it's unnerving. It works subconsciously. So,
Which is an actual real thing, by the way, in when people think that they're being haunted. So
Yeah.
But on that note, just what you're saying is that you can have a very scary movie that has no gore and has no blood or anything like that.
Yeah.
And won't get into it. I'm hoping to be helping with a movie like that, but you don't have to have all that blood and guts and that kind of thing. Although, I gotta say, I love Criminal Minds and NCIS and SUV. I'm totally into that, and I've watched all of it.
you know what's really interesting
Is that gory,
nowadays?
though?
They can be.
By the way, in The Exorcist, guys, the director uses subliminal imaging 3 times. He shows the demon in a very short.
When he comes up from the subway.
Yes, one time.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
But you can't see it in the movie.
not
Now
the
we
green
can see it.
vomit.
Now we can see it because we can.
Because he
pause and-
spliced
yeah.
it into the film.
Yeah.
So it went by like that.
Yeah, but it works.
Yep.
And then, I watched very interesting in what you said about the movies don't have to necessarily be gory to scare the crap out of you. There was a movie that came about 5 years back called It Follows. Has anyone seen it? That is a freaking masterpiece.
Oh, that's
of
where
horror.
it connects to somebody once they have sex with them or whatever.
Yes.
Yep.
It has to do with promiscuity, teenage promiscuity.
That's a good movie.
But it is freaking petrifying. It's called It Follows. It is freaking so good without the gore. It's horror movies can be good. I mean, Hitchcock, I don't know if you can classify this as a horror thriller.
The
maybe.
Omen. I mean, that was not gory.
Well, the birds was classic Hitchcock, and that was a horror.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
how you
true.
call it.
Tippy
that's a-
Hedron.
You know what's interesting? Lately, I've noticed people that are playing on the tropes, on the horror tropes, the cliches, and playing very successfully. For example, it's a horror movie. You're afraid. There's a demon. There's something that's about to scare you. You know it. And somebody is going to the bathroom mirror. And of course, they open the bathroom mirror to get something, and then they're about to close it. the commonly accepted trope is they're gonna close and there's gonna be something that's gonna scare the shit out of you. There's gonna
In
be
the
a demon.
reflection, right?
But
Except as a vampire.
Nowadays, there's nothing. They close the mirror,
And they turn
and
around.
there's but there's no, and that freaking drives you crazy because you know something is about to happen, but it's not.
You gotta
it
change it up somehow.
Yeah, it even gets you further down on your fingernails because you know something's gonna scare the shit out of you, but it's not when you expect it.
So-
Get Out.
Get out.
That is a smart horror movie.
So I really want to go back to your initial contention with Evo, though. Like, what is a horror movie to you?
Horror is a genre, so like anything that there's like demons or killers or zombies, that kind of classic
Monsters.
like
Like aliens.
aliens.
So you're
things like
talking
that.
about like
But
gothic.
that takes place in space. So therefore that's science fiction and the future, right? So science fiction has to do with the future and outer space. That's the point of that genre.
so
Stranger Things.
yeah, like I'm having like difficulty reconciling. Like we all just agreed
On the
that The
border.
Birds was a horror movie, right?
I didn't agree with that.
Oh, that's okay.
Neither
If
do
you
I.
didn't agree, then I take it back.
That would be more of a like. There's also suspense movies,
uh-huh.
and there's movies that fall into suspense
Gotcha,
category.
gotcha.
Now the Birds would be more of a suspense, maybe
So
thriller.
for you,
or
it's
something.
gotta have like an occult slash gothic.
Yeah.
So
theme.
horror in
Horror.
space is not acceptable.
No, Jason 10 doesn't work.
So Event Horizon is not a horror.
Sci-fi.
Let the right one in.
I might have gone along with you until you went there.
With Event Horizon, that's still sci-fi.
It's scary as fuck.
Just because it has scariness doesn't make it a horror movie.
No. It is like entirely scary. It's not like it is a horror movie set in space.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Taylor? We didn't hear from you.
Ooh, he mentioned. He
Well,
loves
funnily
it.
enough, Kay just mentioned one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen, and that was on Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
And
sometimes that is.
I have
awful.
been around. I've seen lots and lots of movies. I don't like blood and gore. I don't see vampire movies at all as horrifying in the
He loves
slightest.
vampire movies.
I got
Love-
Doctor Who is
Leaves
fucking
the room
scary
if
sometimes.
somebody
Two
gets
things.
slashed.
Yeah.
Right. One was on Star Trek. Was when
Which
Was it
you got to give us
Zulu?
a. You got to give us a.
he gets the guy puts something in the
No, that was Chekhov. He
Chekhov.
put the earwig
he
in
put
his
an
ear.
earwig in Chekhov's ear.
Oh, so you're talking original Star Trek.
Proper Star Trek.
Yes, the
Yeah,
proper.
real
Okay,
Star Trek.
gotcha.
Chekhov gets something put in
That was
his ear.
Star Trek 2.
Yeah, and that's but that's a real thing that bugs can go into your ears and
so
your
that I
other
didn't enjoy.
orifices.
That
And
is
then
scary.
and then when
Gross.
I was, I don't know how old I was, but it was in the 60s.
Sorry.
The very first one or two Doctor Who's that
God, that
was
was
so scary. My brother and I used to go and hide behind the couch.
Dude, when I was watching the
to-
reruns in the 70s and 80s, I would do the same damn thing. That show was so damn scary.
There.
70s and 80s? How old are you?
He's
You
a
look like you're
vampire.
like 30.
I'm
He's
46.
a vampire.
But he's not tall and single.
28.
The weeping angels, the Blink.
Yes.
Blink episodes.
Oh,
Just classic. Like that is horror.
Well, oh no,
Not
that's
the
just
Blink?
that's just
They are?
pussy stuff.
Oh,
No,
Weeping
no.
Angels. Don't
Have
they
you got
scare
any
you?
idea what it was like when the Cybermen first appeared?
Holy crap,
And
it
the
scared me.
Daleks.
Oh my
Daleks,
god.
The Daleks, no one had ever seen a Dalek before.
Daleks are a trash can with a plunger. This is a trash can with a plunger. That doesn't scare me. Just because it says exterminate. You know,
You can get
I
away
mean,
from them by going up a couple
yeah,
of stairs.
I mean,
Well,
it's
listen,
They fly.
this is scary.
They
This
fly.
right there. Look at this.
Yeah, look at the water
Look at
coming
the-
out the ceiling.
That's they're
But,
taking
I mean,
over.
you know,
That would be so great
At least
for my
it's not
kitty
dripping
litter
on me
box.
tonight.
people, as the Dalek said, everybody
That's what
makes
she said.
mistakes getting off the dustbin. You know, I mean, it's you missed that one.
Boom-ching.
Everyone, yes, did you get it? Everybody makes
Yes,
yeah, all right,
we got
okay,
it, we
yeah,
got
you
it.
got it.
Yeah.
For me, love vampire movies. You know, the more vampire-y, the better, as far as I'm concerned. But
We watch a lot of TV in different rooms.
yeah,
Okay.
That makes sense.
yeah,
Do you guys do a lot of things in different rooms?
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was going
get it in
I was
somewhere.
going to
Waka,
share
waka,
some stuff
waka.
I found at a
Don't share that
garage
much.
sale recently, but I'm not going to now.
I have an idea. Let's share less.
Yes, okay. But what I'm watching at the moment is
Carnival Row.
Carnival Row,
Mm-hmm.
and that's I don't know if anybody else is
it have
watching
vampires
Carnival
in
Row.
it?
Yeah, you're watching.
It's
yeah,
good,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah, it's good.
Not vampires,
and
but
it's
fairy folk and monsters
it's
that
quite
rip out
interesting.
intestines and chew.
Is
What
it
is
on
also
Amazon?
interesting is whether the panel
Amazon?
above your head,
I think so.
Fernando, is
I'll
have
actually
to
going
watch
to
it.
Josh-
explode because it's dripping water.
Josh,
down over
here's how we're gonna get Josh to
Is there
watch.
British
you.
people in it?
No, you know
Okay.
that motto, Cara Delevingne with the eyebrows.
Yes.
Lots of sex scenes with her.
Oh,
Lots
yeah.
of nudity.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
that
I'm in.
show.
I'm in.
I knew it. I knew it.
I'm getting
I'm
the
thinking
feeling
it wouldn't matter who it is.
the whole
there
point of the
sex
thing
in it?
seems to be
Yes.
that
Is there
fairies
killing?
make
Yes.
love by flying and holding guys up in the
yeah,
air.
Yeah, there's
I mean,
sex.
really?
What were you doing?
It is so
the
impossible.
women
They're what?
have
They're
wings.
wings.
The women have wings. They're fairies, and they
They're
pick up.
fairies.
There's fairies?
Yeah, so we're talking
Pixies.
reverse cowgirl in
No,
the air.
regular cowgirl.
Or regular cowgirl
Regular
in the air because they
It's
lift
on Netflix.
They
It's
lift the
called
boy,
Carnival
the
Row.
guy in the air. So
The reverse would
they
be
have
more
sex in the air,
interesting.
and they're
How does that work?
Because you
That's a good
they're
question.
strong.
Where's they must
Strong,
Really, the
strong
girls
thighs.
like the vibration more than you do.
Yes.
I don't know. Vibration is fun.
and Kay's father, we're sorry she said that.
air.
Sorry, Dad.
Our one listener is her dad tonight.
I have an idea. Let's share.
And the dog. There's two listeners. Dad and the dog.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move on.
Yes, please.
Our last question for tonight.
I didn't tell my.
Fernando.
So rude of you.
I'm not gonna make a comment.
Damn,
One
Jeremy.
of my
Yes,
top,
okay,
my
no.
my top horror movie. You
Yeah.
guys keep talking.
Pan's Labyrinth.
You guys put sci-fi
do that.
movie.
They do
that.
So okay, Devil's Backbone.
Yeah.
Ah,
Guillermo del Toro, 2001, gothic horror movie, classic, clear and fantastic.
Remind
Alright.
me of Devil's
Devil's
Backbone.
Backbone.
No, Fernando.
What was it?
What kind of horror movie do you hate?
Well, those like with sequel, like Friday,
With
whatever.
Jump
Oh,
scares.
gotcha.
Jump scares.
yeah.
Cheap jump
Yeah,
scares.
yeah.
But what is Devil's Backbone? I don't remember. I've seen it. I know I've seen it.
It was that movie that was like in Spain in 1939, during the final year of the Spanish Civil War.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes, and it was the director of the
Pan's Labyrinth.
Guillermo del
Pan's
Toro.
Labyrinth,
Guillermo del Toro.
It's like his first
I think it's better than I
Pan's
like
Labyrinth.
more
okay,
than Pan.
all
but
of you guys have seen every movie on Earth. Do you do anything else?
No.
Oh,
we watch also. We
course
watch
not.
also.
Have I
Explain
mentioned
that.
Pornhub?
Yeah.
We watch TV shows too.
I'm just saying.
That's why your bicep is so strong.
Sorry, that,
Yeah, I mean,
the
Now I'm
forearm.
blushing
you
because you
gotta-
know
I mean,
this.
Josh.
sorry, Jeremy.
Josh actually, Josh hasn't seen Lawrence of Arabia, but he's seen Lawrence of Arabia, which is that's like a different.
Yes, I have. Several
he's
times.
confirming it.
Thing?
Oh yeah, and Shaving Ryan's Privates is a
Dad,
thing too.
turn off the podcast now.
Turn it up, Dad. Turn it up. You're going to get an
Put the
education.
dog
Don't
down.
forget Shaving Ryan's Privates.
Put that dog
Don't-
down.
Don't forget that fantastic Russell Crowe movie.
Oh, Gladiator.
Yeah.
Yes, Dad.
Oh, I just got that. Sorry, I just got that.
let the right one in.
Yeah, let the right one in. Yeah,
What about the left one?
yeah. Oh my God.
So,
A Man in Black Man. You know that one?
Oh, I love that
Man
one.
in Black Man.
My favorite.
this, in fact, this podcast tonight is called
It's
Wednesday Night
deteriorating
Undressed.
quickly. Yeah.
And I, in fact, am the only male here tonight who is naked,
Oh,
which is
throw that chair away, please.
somewhat disappointing. And, in fact, very similar, in fact, to my two lady colleagues here, who are also naked.
Oh, it's
and
cold.
I'm
Chilly,
talking
chilly.
about I'm talking about their chins. The rest of the panel members
Our chins are naked.
are all wearing beards. In fact,
that's where you're going with
they're
this.
being
Okay.
stroked
God.
by some people, which is really quite. Ugh. I don't wear a beard. You know,
can't
no,
grow one
there's
because you're from England.
5 of us here wearing a beard. Let's start with Josh. How do you manage to keep your chin clean?
Like my actual chin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
deep,
the
deep
meaty
down
bit.
underneath
There's
all
kind
that.
of some stuff in there right now.
From 8th grade.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
He ate it in 8th grade.
I did. I use shampoo
Yeah.
and I scrub it all the way down to my chin.
Oh, wow.
Should he
Do you
chin?
comb or brush it?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's kind of long, so just for those who
well, and
cannot
I
see
had it
them.
trimmed today. at
It's
the
like
barbershop.
pretty
It looks good.
long. and-
Doesn't that
Very nice and
doesn't
trim.
that irritate Jimmy Hoffa?
Jimmy Hoffa. He comes out of here every now and again.
Every now and
again, and then I feed him a French fry, and he crawls back in. So I comb it every morning, and I put a little beard oil in it.
Beard oil.
You put oil on it.
Yes.
Beard oil.
What's your beard oil?
Preference.
Yeah.
It's Douglas from the barbershop here in town.
Good old Douglas, he's a good guy.
Douglas is a good guy. He
Oh,
makes
yeah.
his own. And
Okay,
it's
my barber makes his own too,
peppermint lavender is the smell.
That's that is awesome.
In fact, Kay does have some lavender peppermint lavender. She's just spraying on Josh.
Similar to my beard oil. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Josh.
Hand
right?
sanitizer that we have been coating Jeremy with as he's
Fernando,
got
you wear a beard as well.
I love the pepper, just
Yes,
by the way, it looks good.
And your beard, do you colour your beard, or is it just natural colour? Is it how it comes?
It's natural, but I mean, every day, like 3 hours before I go to work, I spread like some avocado and do some massage. Counterclockwise.
Yes, well,
Counterclockwise,
I can
that's
imagine
only counterclockwise.
And then I
yeah.
brush, and then I
brush
get
it, yes.
some coconut oil, homemade,
Yeah.
and then
You actually make your own.
He
No.
grows his own coconut.
oil.
long
Grows his own coconuts.
that
That's
was
why he
all
smells like a
fake.
salad.
Long story short, I don't do anything.
Right, nothing.
I just use those electric, the trim or whatever, just to make it a little short. And
To be
that's it.
noted, for those who cannot see the beards that we're going to be discussing, he has a very nice dark beard with a slight salt and pepper in it, and it's
Wow,
very
thanks
well
for the
groomed.
description. That's
That's sultry
Yes,
voice.
very Brazilian. This coming
I
from a
want her describing
Peruvian.
everything from here on
I'm not
out.
quite sure how the two countries get on. I would like to ask our engineer, does he do anything? No, it's no good shaking your head. You've got a microphone in front of you. Or picking up your beer. What do you do with your beard and stash? Tash.
I'm rather new to the whole thing, and I do oil it every morning. And I have a boar hair brush that I gently brush the oil into the luxurious locks of my hair.
Yes.
And but I haven't really gotten very good at shaping it or designing it yet. I'm letting it grow out. It was a whim when I went to the Amazon and grew out my hair.
Like full beard, you never.
And what does your
fantastic, by the
what does
way.
your
That's good.
wife what does
Thank
your
you.
wife, the lovely Stephanie, think about it?
She loves it.
Yeah, she wants
She
it.
prefers me with the beard as.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she likes it.
I'm thinking
Little
she
tickly.
wants to have a go at it with her scissors. Dr. Orlando, moving on to you.
So yeah, my barber makes his own beard oil concoction pomade, and it is wow, I just completely lost it. But bergamot, that's the main ingredient.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
As in an Earl Grey tea.
Yes, yes.
And also, for those who cannot see him, he's got a nice, very closely trimmed beard with mustache that.
And
Okay, I'll stop.
And he's white.
Very white.
Very white.
No, not so much.
And I do color. I do add some color, because otherwise the thing would be like 100% white.
That would look super cool.
Oh, you
That
should
would
let
look
it go.
super
You
cool.
want to see the gray. I want to see it.
Yeah, no. It's like it's like Black Santa. It's like not
I love it.
it's not a good look.
So, how often do you have to do that? Because, like, every 6 hours?
Just about no.
Like, I mean,
Probably-
you talk about what's the thing that they call
Vitamins?
no. Afternoon shadow. The
5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So, are you not white by 5 o'clock? Are
no,
you
like,
a white
this was-
man by 5 o'clock?
This is probably like a week and a half. So
That's good.
Yeah, as long as it's like
It takes its
again,
time to grow, doesn't it?
It kind of does, and so I keep it close cropped because
nice. Very
the law school is like adamant that we can't be all crazy bearded. Yeah, it is a frustration. But like because before law school, it was probably down to here. And once the law school was like, you gotta go get a job, you gotta be nice looking and not scare the white people, I went ahead and trimmed it up.
Do I
It's a black
scare
thing.
you?
They're like, oh, if it was a white guy with a beard, they'd be like, oh, it looks great.
No problem.
Great job. Do you need help with the bar? We'll help you pass it.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Evo.
The bar or the barb?
Either.
Now, Evo actually has the smallest trim.
Yeah, I basically every time like I come here, I get a salad, and I compare and contrast to the texture of the Conroy chef's beard when I get a salad. Hey guys, have you seen the guy?
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I get it every morning. I get it.
Seriously,
I get it licked by Norwegian virgins every morning.
Sweet.
There's only 2 of them.
And they live in your house.
2 left.
I know my last exchange student is from Norway.
That's the one. That's the one.
She comes over every morning. And or he.
Yes.
Whatever you're
I
Stops in a
basically-
quick trip, gets his coffee, and
It's really weird. I couldn't wait to grow the goatee because I started shaving at like 24. I didn't have any beard at all, and I was like, "Am I ever gonna have the opportunity?" And it was made like just like a few hairs here and there, and then like around 24. It started growing. I'm like, yes. So ever since, I've had it, but yeah, that's
I
it.
haven't been carded since I was 16.
I
you
started
go.
growing my beard literally at 14. I was like, and I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, and so they want you to be clean shaven, and so it was like this constant, like you are evil because you've got this hair growing out of your face kind of thing when I was growing up. So, for me, actually, like wearing a beard is like this completely like freeing, revolutionary thing
right.
because I just wasn't able to do it as a kid.
I was willing to wear a beard wig, It was like, I was ready.
Beard.
So,
Well,
Jeremy, I have a
bearding.
question.
Bearding.
Why,
Yes, dear,
why
sorry.
no beard?
why no beard? Because my skin doesn't like it.
He's a little bit English too.
My skin doesn't like it. It's,
Like it gets it.
I can't think of an Englishman with a beard.
What am I trying to
British
say?
don't grow beard.
eczema
No,
or
they grow
something.
those
Yeah.
really
Oh,
fucked
except
up
for Harry.
mustaches.
Ha ha ha.
Harry who?
Harry.
John Lennon.
As
No,
in
what
Prince.
the prince? He's got a goatee.
he's got a-
yeah,
And the red-
he's
the one with the red
hairy.
hair.
You know, the British in the
Yeah,
pictures with
yeah.
the really fucked up mustache that looks like a walrus tusk.
But not Englishmen don't wear beards though.
He, in
And
fact,
that
Harry
weird guy
actually
that
has a
squid is
special
the,
dispensation because he's
guy
a
at the White
spoiled
House.
brat.
Bolson?
He has the same one.
To have a beard because you're not supposed to have beards in the
But
Marines.
he's a royalty. So they
but
allow-
What
he's
is the
dispensation.
That, yeah, whatever that word is.
That he's allowed to wear a beard.
Yes, that's the word. That's exactly what the word means. Dispensation means
Whatever the
a person who's allowed to wear a beard.
Whatever.
With a dress uniform. Yeah.
It's in the dictionary.
So,
Hi, Dad.
no, I don't know. I've tried it. You end up this big furry thing, and it. I don't know.
Sometimes you get things in it, and strangers tell you about
It
it.
was quite good for hiding shit.
that's
in
I'm
years
really
ago.
glad I didn't. I'm really glad I did not find anything in your beard because I would like.
Oh, so you were
We'd
just
have-
kidding?
No, I would really like spend another 15 minutes about discussing things in your beard because his beard is like not small,
Yeah, it's
bushy.
It's a good beard. It's a Karl Marx
It's
beard.
not small.
and it is
Size
not
matters, man.
a
Size does
coinciding
matter.
word for other things. I'm just saying,
biceps,
hands, feet.
traps.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you've been listening to another Wednesday Night Undressed, and we, as we always do, we turn to Evo for our sponsors. Evo.
Yes. A huge surprise today, guys. I have a huge surprise. We don't have a sponsor. We don't have a sponsor today because our marketing department was late yet again to give me the content, the copy. I didn't receive it on time, so
Let's
no.
go over and beat them up. Let's all just
Yes.
go over
I
and
think
beat
we
up
should
our.
go and talk
we got to
the-
get dressed first, though.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
We got to wipe these chairs down.
So
Where's that
Kay,
sanitizer?
Kay is well known for her broadcasting. She's been on the radio with me. She's done TV, all sorts of different things. What did you think of your first Undressed?
This was very, very interesting and super, super fun. I hope you invite me back. It would be awesome.
Invite you
I
back.
hope you do come back.
It's necessary.
Oh, wait. The handcuff sound? The handcuffs?
Yeah.
Okay, apparently I'm like handcuffed to the table. Okay.
You've been listening to another Wednesday Night Undressed with our team tonight, led by young Kay Traver, Kathleen, Josh, Fernando, Lewis, Ivo,
Sayonara.
and our friend Neil running the board, and of course Eric, who's our producer and does all the puts it all together. My name's Jeremy Taylor. Thank you for listening.